You are listening to the Wild Man Podcast.
Thank you for choosing the Wild Man Podcast. Today, our guest is Terry from, if you want to say all the bands you are in, because you are in so many projects, sir.
It's currently, Obituary, Left to Die, and In Human Condition.
Heck yeah. You've been in a
Yeah,
lot, though.
yeah. I mean, I've been very fortunate. I've somehow always managed to land on my feet pretty good and be in some pretty, you know, cool bands. So I'm fortunate for that. Absolutely.
So my first question is with this Left to Die, this is your guys' debut album, correct?
Yeah. Um, it's our first release. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know there's Left to Die and Death to All, correct?
Yeah. Death to All kind of kicked up about 10 years ago, I guess, or so, something like that. But Left to Die came about kind of really quick, and but it's taken off, and people want to hear it, and if they want to hear it, we'll play it. And when people don't hear it anymore, then I guess we won't be a band anymore. So hey, it's a wild ride, and we're having fun right now.
Oh, yeah. So with this album, the guys you're working with, is this to like pay honor to Chuck, I would assume, or is this like a continuation from your like Heirs of Death?
Yeah, it's to celebrate where death started at, basically. Back in '84, this band called Mantis here in Altamont Springs, Florida. They put out a demo called Death by Metal. And at the time, we all lost our minds around here because it was so cool. It was like really dark and primitive and just like Venom and Hellhammer like, but even a little bit more like scary, if you want to say that. And we ate it up and we loved it. And, Death put out, well, Mantis broke up and they reformed as Death a few months later, put out several demos. But, in that time, Rick left Death, and then Cam left Death, and Chuck continued on, obviously, and put out more demos. So this release is basically to honor the beginning of Death, and that's why the album is called Initium Mortis, because it basically means, in Latin, the beginning of death. We wanted to show kids and fans where this started at, because some people don't know. One thing that helped kick this whole thing off is this album is we noticed how many younger kids were coming to our shows. It was amazing. So we started talking. Do they know the earlier stuff? Have they heard the demos? I bet they haven't. And we started talking. A lot of people haven't heard the demos. The demos are such poor quality. What if we recorded some of these songs and gave them a nice production and showed the world where this whole thing kind of started at? And I think we did a good job with that.
Oh yeah, like it's definitely like I've watched a documentary about death, as many people have, and like it's a very like I love this album because it's in a sense it's like your guys is bringing your like style from like when you guys were first beginning your careers, and it's absolutely like beautiful artwork. Like the artwork's absolutely insane.
Yeah, we wanted the whole kind of deal from the artwork to the production, everything to feel like it could have come out in '88, '89 kind of thing. We wanted that kind of Ed Repka feel, from the earlier Death artwork. And Dan Goldsworthy, he did an amazing job. He's done a lot of stuff. He's done In Human Condition albums, all of our albums. He's done Zentrix. He's done a bunch of stuff he's done. And he did that. He did a great job at that. And production wise, we didn't want it to be overproduced, pro tooled out, where it just sounds fake, kind of. And Matt LaPlante, he he produced and mixed it and everything, and I think he did a great job because we wanted to kind of reflect a little bit of what it more sound production might have come from. Like it feels like an 88, 89 more sound production. That's great. That's perfect. That's what we wanted.
Oh yeah, like that's what like I tell a lot of people like death metal in the like early, like late 80s, early 90s, there wasn't much around for it.
No, it was, I mean, being there, kind of watching this whole thing develop, because I remember listening to underground music before Metallica were even around. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to see death metal get born and then start crawling and start walking and now it's running, so to speak. But to see where it started at is amazing. And to be part of that and to be there to watch all that, is great. And yes, these songs do sound a little bit, they're obviously old school, but these songs were the foundation, that helped create death metal. Yeah, Possessed were out there too, right around the same time, and they put a demo out and everything, but they were on the West Coast, and it's hard to get back then. A lot of it was tape trading, you know. So around here, we didn't get to hear that Possessed demo until a little bit later. But I heard the Mantis demo really early. So yeah, all this stuff might sound primitive to some people, but if you look at it open-mindedly, like, hey, this is where it started at. These songs were three 15-year-old kids in a garage with a boombox writing these songs to help start a genre. It's pretty amazing to me.
Oh yeah, like you guys are like the original Florida death metal band, as everybody says.
Yeah, from that point, yeah. I mean, and obviously it started going quick, but like I said, we and even the Rick and Cam will still tell you that back then it was building blocks. Venom, um, Hellhammer, Bathory, Slayer, um, Celtic Frost. These are the things, and punk. This is what we were drawing inspiration from, and we just they just twisted it a little darker, a little heavier, and started creating a certain sound, and that's it. And that's great.
Oh yeah. So when back because like you said, these songs were back in 88, 88 and 89. When you guys were writing this stuff, like did you guys ever imagine like it would take off as fast as it did?
Not, not. I mean, with leprosy and like spiritual healing, it was kind of already out there. But like in '84 when they wrote these demos, in '85 when they were making these demos, Rick, Cam, and Chuck, I'm sure they had no idea the impact it would have. And even when I joined Death right after Scream Bloody Gore was released. Um, Up into even through spiritual healing, we were never thinking, okay, this music we're writing and creating is groundbreaking, or it's right up there, just as good as any of the bands in this genre. Death helped create this thing. We never were thinking any of that stuff. We were just, four dudes in a band playing live, having a good time, wanting to tour. That was about it. Not till years and years later, unfortunately, after Chuck's passing, did all this stuff start to nostalgia things start coming in and legend status and this and that, deservedly so. But it takes a little time to get there, and Death has certainly put that time in. And they're, you know, to me, they're the poster child when someone says, "What is death metal?" It's death. So
Oh yeah, like I have a boss at work, like me and him talk death all the time because he won't listen to like the like Cannibal Corpse, those guys or anything, but he'd be like this. I love Crystal Mountain.
yeah, I mean, it's some of the dudes that are my age. You're there from the very beginning. So my whole wheelhouse of writing music and listening to music is the bands from the '80s, death metal. Death metal bands, old school death metal. That's my deal. That's what I like. No disrespect to any of the newer stuff, but when I want to put an album on and chill out, it's going to be something from the '80s, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, like so when you guys were recording re-recording this, Uh, who took up vocals by any chance?
Well, Matt's the same. Matt Harvey.
Okay.
What? Yeah, what we did was he went through and figured out all the tablature and the lyrics and the riffs because the source material we're taking this from, that's some old demos that have been duplicated a million times, so the quality is very degraded. So it's kind of hard to make out some of these riffs. They're basically live tapes in a garage, and but Matt went through and did a great job. And Rick played on some of this stuff and wrote some of this stuff back in the day, so he was familiar with it. But there was parts that it's like, okay, we got to put our thinking cap on. What's the riff here? But Matt figured all that out, figured out the lyrics and everything, and so he sent us playthroughs. So we rehearsed off those playthroughs and listened to the original material just to make sure we were kind of doing it all right, and went from there.
Oh yeah, like you guys have a lot, like especially with like I keep saying your career, like you guys have a lot of history in Milwaukee Metal Fest. Like you guys were like the first like pioneers of Milwaukee Metal Fest.
We played on the first Milwaukee Metal Fest in '87. That's shortly after. See, Chuck had moved back to Altamont Springs after recording Scream What I Gore, and Chris Reifert was basically still in high school, I think. He didn't come out to Florida. He stayed. So Chuck basically was back in Florida with no band, and Rick hooked back up with them. They patched things up, and long story short is Rick, Bill, and myself, who were in Massacre at the time. Rick had already been in Death before, and we joined Death, and Chuck had a touring band. He had a drummer, bass player, and another guitar player. We can go on the road, and that's what we did. So the first show was the Milwaukee Metal Fest, the very first one in '87. Then not long after that, I think January '88, maybe 3 or 4 months later or something, we went on the road for Scream Bloody Gore, the Scream Bloody tour. And we had already started playing songs from Leprosy on that because we'd already had some written. But yeah, so it was fun, great times for
Oh
sure.
yeah, like it's crazy to see here. You're like I tell a lot of my friends like you guys don't understand how much like Terry does for the death metal scene. Like he's carried the torch for a long time.
I just love the music. I love what it is, the aggression it brings out, and it's done a lot for me being in bands. I mean, I've toured the world, met a lot of cool people, done a lot of cool things, and I don't take it for granted. I love it, and I've been very fortunate for sure.
Is there any chance you guys are going to be playing like going on the road and doing shows through the US or Europe or anything?
Yes, we're going to do a short run in Europe in August. We got some festivals and club dates. Then we go to South America in September, and we're definitely going to hit the States at some point. Um, it might not be till early next year, but we're coming to the States. Yes.
Oh, I hope you guys play Iowa or at least Chicago.
Definitely Chicago. I mean, we're going to try and hit all over the place, though.
Oh yeah, because like I think like I have an app, like there's an app now that tells you like what bands are dropping what now. And I had the notification and it went off at midnight and I thought it was my alarm because it gives you a loud like I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell? I'm trying to go to sleep. And like I listened to it at 1 o'clock this morning, just sitting there and like my old lady was all like this, hey, you need to wake up. You got work.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like
Well,
go ahead.
no, no. I said I'll be in Chicago in a few days, actually. Obituary. We're doing some shows.
Oh, I've been talking to her, seeing if she wants to come up because she wants to see you guys. She hasn't yet.
Mm, yeah, so that's going to be cool.
Yeah, like I think I got all the Death discography and all the Obituary discography now on vinyl.
Oh, that's great. Killer. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was a hard one to find because like I'm kind of glad they repressed the vinyl for Death because that's a discography. Like if you want original stuff, that stuff's hard to find.
And it's expensive too. The originals, yeah.
Like I think I found one guy selling like original leprosy. He was all like this, and we were talking negotiating, and I was all like this. I was like, "What's the bottom line you will sell that to?" He's like, "I'll sell it to you for 2 grand."
Wow, that's ridiculous.
I was like, "That is like 4 car payments for me."
Too much, man. But the best thing is you might find it at like some old bookstore, somewhere in the middle, like Davenport or somewhere. It'd be the best place.
Oh yeah, I think I met your guys's for obituary in a way. Your guys's stagehand Josh.
Yes, Boo Boo. That's his name. He's killer. Yeah.
Like we were because he was working with Carcass when you
Yeah.
guys were heading up to Milwaukee, and me and him were talking. He was all like this. I was like, "You look real familiar." He's like, and we started talking, and like I didn't realize we were friends on Facebook. I was like, "Oh, whoops."
Yeah. Josh is awesome.
But like, what's one of the favorites? One of the songs you took part and like you wanted to have it in the album for this.
Um, I really like Slaughterhouse is a killer song, Death by Metal, Legion of Doom for sure. Those are some of my favorites in there. Yeah,
Yeah, because like I feel like there's a lot of pop culture references in here and a lot of like dark, disturbing stuff.
for sure. I mean, yeah, at the time, 15-year-old kids, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, oh crap, I'm trying to think of the next question, and it keeps slipping my brain. But like I said, I really appreciate you doing this. By the way, like my dad's a big fan of you.
Problem, no problem, man.
He's like this. Can I go up with you when you go see them? I was like, I don't even know when they're on tour.
Well, hopefully, like I said, beginning of next year, we'll be rolling through.
Oh yeah, I'll be up there. Like I haven't like sat down and listened to like every album of Death because like Spotify makes it hard for you because like they add the live tracks to.
Yeah, if you just know the order of the album, just pick out the original ones. They have the original ones in there. Then they'll have like the deluxe and re bonus stuff and this and that. But with Death, you have the first three albums, which is kind of like I call it the blue collar version of Death, where it's not quite as techy as people want to call it. You know what I mean? Then a Human is kind of a mix. I mean, spirituals kind of starts where it kind of starts being more melody and mixed with the brutality. Like Leprosy is like mostly brutality with a little melody. Spiritual Healing is like more melody with some brutality, and then it just it gets a little more musical as it goes, so to speak. So you have a couple different kind of the way I look at it versions of Death. There, you have the techier side, and then you have the more blue collar, straight up death metal side.
Is there anything like with this coming around? Is there anything like you would love to do? Like any dreams you would love to pursue with this album?
Well, just tour some places I haven't been before. I mean, we've done pretty good. We've hit South America a couple times. We've been to Japan and Australia, Europe. Um, but we need to get up into Canada with it. Get back to Australia, maybe some other parts of the world would be cool. Just get it out there. I mean, so that's probably our goal for this whole thing is just tour and play these songs.
Oh yeah. So when you guys were presenting this to, were you guys presenting this to Relapse, or did Relapse come to you guys and say we want to take it and put it out for you guys?
We presented it to them like, hey, what do you think about this idea? We want to do this. We chose Relapse because Exhumed, Matt Harvey's band, they've been on Relapse for a long time. Gruesome's on Relapse, which Matt and Gus are in, and then Obituary's been on Relapse for quite a while now. So it made sense just to ask them, obviously, right off the bat, hey, we're thinking about doing this, and what do you think? And plus, the Schuldiner family, Chuck's family, they're connected into Relapse because Relapse re-released all the Death stuff. So it just makes sense for Relapse to handle this,
Yeah.
and they did a great job. Uh, awesome variants of the vinyl, different colors, cassette, shirt, CD. There's just a ton of stuff available, and yeah, and they've done a lot of good promotion too for it. So we're excited for sure.
Awesome. I don't think I have any more questions. I know this was a short, quick little interview.
It's okay, man. No worries.
I'm definitely glad we caught up. I'm gonna see if the old lady wants to come up to Chicago. If she doesn't, I'll take my dad.
Got the like I said, this we have some obituary dates coming up your way. We're playing in Bloomington, Chicago. We're opening for Megadeth in Wisconsin for 2 shows. So if you go to the obituary website, you'll see the tour dates or my website, whatever. But yeah, come on up. Let me know, man.
Oh yeah, I think because every time he comes over, he tries to take my death in obituary records because he's like, I grew up with that stuff. Why do you have it? And I'm like, I don't know. Why don't you have it?
Yeah, that's cool, man.
So you take it easy, boss. Stay
You
dry
too.
today. I'm gonna go dry off and take a hot ass shower because it's cold.
Well, I wish it was cold here, but yeah. So you too, man. I'll see you. Take care.
You as well, brother.
All right, man. See ya.
See ya.